time again. I don't want this woman on the show. I just do not want her here. She smells like dead old and cats.
We're live, sir.
Oh. Welcome back to the Kenny King Show. You know, this past year we have been talking with many, many celebrities about their ailments, their conditions, and their addictions to various things such as crack cocaine, heroin, and alcoholism, of course, is very, very rampant even today in Hollywood, and the music industry, and the arts communities, in fact. But one of the celebrities that we have wanted to talk to, but we haven't had a chance to talk to yet, has been the internationally, successfully, outrageously famous super megastar Queen Gaga.
Oh yes, darling.
And she is with us here today.
Your left or my left? Which
over
stage?
here.
I...
Just come over here.
Oh, hello,
Just
Mr.
over
King.
here.
Hello.
Get out of my shot.
Oh, hello, my adoring fans. Hello, Mr. King. How are you today?
I'm fine, I guess. And how are you?
Well, you know, I'm here. And I have some very sensitive subjects to talk about today.
Oh, yes. Yes, my producer informs me that you are here to talk about your alcoholism.
Well, I mean, we can touch on that. It is no androgyny. Androgyny. She's a little bit stage shy, I'm afraid. But this is my new baby.
So we're going to talk about your alcoholism, right? Or are you still in denial?
I'm not in denial. In fact, I'm going to take a sip of your wine here. Do I get refills on this, darling? Oh, look at this. Oh, yes. Oh, a fresh martini. No, my alcoholism.
So you're not an alcoholic.
I am. That's no secret. I mean, I'm a raging alcoholic, darling. But there's something that goes a little bit deeper that I'd like to touch on, if I may.
Of course, your crack cocaine addiction.
Well, yes, we could. Excuse me. We can talk about the crack cocaine addiction, darling. But
maybe your constant chain smoking.
Well, I think that's not a secret either. But there's something that goes back to my childhood. And
I don't know.
This is why I requested to have no audience today.
Oh, that's right. She has requested that we have no audience for whatever reason. If you watched the show before, you obviously know that there's usually an audience. And Queen Dada has said, we do not want you to have an audience. And so, well, she's hijacked my show. I mean, what can I say?
Well, I am one of the most infamous megastars alive, darling. You should be honored. And
I guess.
And what I want to talk about goes far, far back to my childhood. If you want, we may start there.
You were born in 1982.
Yes, June 9th, 1982.
In a woman's prison.
Yes.
Why don't we know about this story?
Well, it's quite embarrassing, you see. My mother was, this stupid whore, was working for a drug cartel, where she not only smuggled drugs over the border, large amounts of cocaine and heroin, but also guns, automatic weapons, and being the dumb whore that she is, she got caught. It is there that she ended up in the Marysville prison in Las Vegas, darling. She did not realize, she was such a whore that she did not realize that she was pregnant when she entered the prison. And from there it gets quite complicated.
How many men did she sleep with?
From what I've heard, thousands. But who's to say? I've never, aside from my birth, I never met her because she was shanked to death in that prison because she could never shut her mouth.
So your mother didn't raise you?
Oh no, darling, no, no, no.
What was her sentence again?
She got 20 to 30 years for the drug and gun smuggling.
Oh,
and then because of my awkward birth, she caught more time for child endangerment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the child endangerment was for the fact that she didn't know she was pregnant?
Well, that it goes farther than that to my actual birth. You see, she could not get along in general population, so she was in solitary confinement. When she realized she was pregnant, she kept it a secret. Everybody thought she was just getting fat from the prison food, you see. Um, but that was not the case. She was actually bloated like a caucus because she was pregnant with me. Um, you see, when you're in solitary, the doors only have a little slit in them where they slide your food in. And she was in there for a very, very long time. And it was in there that she gave birth to me. Yes, I know. Very, very hard to talk about.
So you weren't raised by your mother, and she
No.
had no living relatives, correct?
Absolutely not. And if she did, they wanted nothing to do with her. Um, so she gave birth to me, and
So then who raised you?
well, after she gave birth to me, the guards opened the door one day and found me lying in a puddle of filth. Um, and you see, from there, they took me and they tried to they tried to find me parents. Nobody wanted a filth prison child.
Did they find you before she was shanked to death, or did they find you after she was shanked to death?
Before. When she went back to general population, she was shanked to death. Um, for being the dumb whore that she is. You see, she was getting in many, many fights. Um, oh, excuse me. So yes, she was shanked to death. The guards, they took me to an orphanage where they tried to find me parents, but like I said, nobody wants a filth child. Um, Luckily though, the Wiggly Freak Show was in town that month.
I'm not familiar.
Well, they were very popular in the early 80s. They did die down by my teenage years, but we'll get into that in a moment, darling. Um, ugh. So, they found me parents that were in the freak show, very loving parents. You see, my mother was a bearded woman, my surrogate mother, of course. She was the bearded woman in the freak show, and my father was the feline man. Hence, my affinity for felines came from that.
Your affinity.
My affinity, yes, darling. And
what do you mean by affinity?
well, you see, this is where my awkward, if you want to call it addiction, I call it an affinity. Oh, it's quite warm in here. That is where this comes in. You see, my father, I had to work into for my keep in the show. Um, my father, when he had to perform, he was quite large and he had quite a lot of fur. He found it hard himself. I know it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, darling.
I'm sorry. I'm just having a hard time believing this.
He was a feline man. You see, his father was a feline, his mother was a human, and from there.
What?
Yes, very awkward bestiality. Yes. I don't want to get into that. It's quite embarrassing. He was a lovely man, you see, a lovely man. But like I said, he had a large amount of fur and he needed me to clean him for the shows. So I would, with my tongue, as the felines do, I would clean my father before the show. I would get his back for him, because he could not reach there. Um, and I was very, very good at it, darling. He was glistening by the time.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're live, of course.
I'm so nervous that I
You're
laugh.
making this crap up.
I laugh when I'm nervous.
You're
No,
making this
darling,
crack up.
not. Why would I want to make this up? I'm firing my hairdresser after this, darling. Why would I want to make something like this up?
So, so
It's quite
I'm so sorry.
it's quite
I'm not
embarrassing.
laughing at your. I'm not laughing at.
Darling, you're making. I need a drink. I need a drink. I'm so sorry, Mr. King. If you could please be polite. This is a very traumatic experience for me. By the way,
Oh, you're full of crap.
I like the cups
Full
that
of crap,
they
aren't you?
mix your martinis in. It's
You're
quite
really full
ratchet.
of crap, aren't you?
No, no, darling.
Ah, this is a publicity stunt, isn't it?
No, darling. This is the god awful truth.
Oh my God.
You see, androgyny over there, she needed a break. She's very camera shy.
Androgynous. That reminds me. What is your gender?
Well, that's a very complicated story in itself, now isn't it, darling? You see, I was not born a natural freak, as my half feline, half human father was, and how my bearded mother was. So they needed
He was
me.
born with that much fur?
Yes, lots of fur, darling. He had the body of a man, but the fur coat of a feline and fangs. He was quite a lovely man, though, quite a lovely man. He scared the children a little bit, but I mean, what beast man wouldn't? Um, so you see, I needed a part in this show. So what they did at the age of 4, they started giving me these hormones, and by my by the age of maybe 10 or 11, I had some surgery done, darling, very personal surgery done. Um, I was the androgynous woman in the show. You see, I have quite a robust build, and I have to shave my beard because I do gravitate more towards the female aspect in my shows, but I do like to add the androgynous stuff into for
Why?
my fans.
What for? I'm not getting.
Because
I'm foggy on
it's
this.
who I am, darling. I was born this way, you see. So it's who I am.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
hard to say because of my complicated childhood what I was really born as, because I did not know, and by my early years they were already pumping me full of drugs and making me part of the
So when
show.
did you become a crack addicted whore?
Oh, a very young age, darling.
Hmm.
You see, it's not easy growing up in a freak show, and these freaks, I mean,
So how did your? I'm having. I'm having a hard. I'm having a really hard
thank you
time
for the
following
fresh
this.
martinis, darling. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes,
Please
thank
don't
you.
give her any more. Please.
Oh,
Please don't give her any more.
darling, this is nothing compared to what I drink every day. Nothing.
Okay. So let me just. Let me just.
I'm sorry. I've seen a doctor recently, and there's lots of fur built up in my stomach. You see, I have to keep all 20 of my cats very clean, darling.
What do you mean?
Well, now this is very difficult, but this is what I came on this show to talk about.
Oh, not your feline father and your bearded mother.
No, that's just leading up to now, darling, and what is going on with me now, who I am.
Oh dear God, help us.
You see, I have to keep my cats clean because I feed them raw meat, and their breath smells quite bad. So when they clean themselves, they stink up my house. So
Okay.
I have to clean them.
What? You give
They
them a
and
bath?
no, they're afraid of water, of course, just as my father was, which is why I had to lick his back. Um, so I do it the natural way because go green, everybody, right? So I I lick my cats clean, darling. I lick them clean, and they're very very clean cats. Um, that is why I have a large amount of fur built up in my stomach. I try to eat anti-furball food, but it does no good. You see, that yes, the cat food I have to because it's the only thing that has that in it that will dissolve the hairballs that are built up that are that are built up in me. You see, so there it is. That
You
yes,
don't even know what.
I know it's very very difficult. Very difficult.
How long have you had this
Well,
need to?
since I was a child, and cleaning my cats takes me back to my childhood when my father passed away, and he is taxidermied in my
Wait a
apartment.
minute. Wait a minute. I'm just trying to picture. You licked your own father.
Well, yes, darling. Who hasn't? It's quite normal. Quite normal, I say.
So have you had any have you had any
Whisper it out, darling.
are you in therapy?
Oh, I don't believe in therapy.
So you just think that this is
Well,
absolutely
yes, darling.
normal behavior, that this is
Yes,
what people do.
it's what I do, darling. And as you can see, I'm a very famous superstar because of what I do. And growing up in the freak show, it was very natural for me. My mother had a glorious, glorious beard that I would also groom for her.
So you licked your mother and your father.
Of course, of course, I loved them very, very much, and they had to be glistening when they went on stage. And I licked them so good that they were always glistening and shining, beautiful fur coats on stage, and they were quite famous in the early 80s.
This is totally unbelievable.
Well, I know, and
This is not. This is I don't. This is not. I don't. This is I don't. I don't even.
that's why I
I don't even
requested
know. I don't
no
even
audience today.
know why we needed you to waste our time like this. Like
Waste your time. This is a very
this is
interesting story, darling. This is very important to me and
yeah,
my
but you're a
fans.
freak.
Oh my. You think that's the first time I've ever been called a freak, darling?
I don't. So, so how many cats do you have?
Um, Upwards of 20 at the moment. I had more, but they passed of old age, and disease. Um, and I'm trying to open a cat sanctuary where I will have hundreds of cats that need homes, and I will clean them all myself, and they will have a very, very good life.
Please,
Only
if
the
anybody's watching
only
from any
the
of those
best.
agencies, don't give her one.
Only the best life, darling. They will eat the finest of raw meat and sushi, and they will be licked clean every other day. They will be quite happy. You see, there's so many cats that need good homes, and from my sanctuary, I will find them only the best homes by some of the greatest starlets in Hollywood, darling.
Okay, I think you've wasted enough of our time.
You didn't ask me about my love life.
I don't even I don't even want to go there because I'm sure that if you're freaky about your cats, I don't even want to hear what you would do with like a human being. So
Well, maybe
no, please,
maybe
no,
we'll save
no,
this for another
please.
time.
Okay, all right, fine,
You'll have me
good.
back on the
But you're
show.
right, yeah, sure.
You will.
Yeah,
You will, darling.
right,
You
yeah,
will.
okay, well,
My agents will see
I
to
don't
it.
know
You
about
will
that.
have me back on the show.
I,
Yes.
I don't know. I no.